everyone, today I'm going to talk about some books that I really want to reread. I did a video like this about a year ago, but I thought it would be time for an updated version since I've actually reread most of the books from that earlier video. And I always love rereading books, and this year I have been doing it a lot more, especially because I've discovered audiobooks. I've been rereading a lot of books by listening to the audiobook, and it's always nice because it's like such a fun new experience to like read a book or to listen to a book. But yeah, I have a new list with books that I really would love to reread, so let's just get started with this video and then I'm going to tell you all about those. The first one is probably a very obvious one, but this is of course a series that I always want to reread. And that is of course the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I just realized how good this cover like matches with my t-shirt, but okay. But yeah, the Harry Potter series. If you have been following my videos, you probably know that this is my all-time favorite book series. And also if you take a look at my background, you know that I've liked this entire Harry Potter like shrine. I have reread the Harry Potter series so many times that I honestly don't know how many times. I think my favorite book, Goblet of Fire, I think I've read that at least 20 times. It's probably a lot. I've read these books a lot. And I finished my latest reread of the Harry Potter series in December last year when I first listened to the English audiobooks. So it's been only 6 months since I finished those, but already I feel like the need to read the Harry Potter books again. It's just something that I will always have, I think. I always want to reread these books, and I read them at least once a year or like twice like last year. So yeah, I think I might start another reread like very soon. And maybe this time around I will also do book reviews, like videos about each individual book with like my thoughts, and also a bit more like with spoilery thoughts. So yeah, that sounds like fun, and like just talking about the Harry Potter makes me so happy, so excited. Every Harry Potter reread is amazing, so I will be rereading these books like for the rest of my life, I'm certain of that. And the same thing goes for the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. This is also one of my all-time favorite book series, and this is also a book series that I've reread many times. Not as much as the Harry Potter series, but still I think I reread it like 6 times or so. I actually reread these books about a year and a half ago, and then I made an entire like review video about that. It's like a very old video, so I'm still very awkward, but I still very much agree with what I said in that video, so I will leave a link to that down below in the description box. But yeah, the Hunger Games series is just so fun, it's so good. It's my all-time favorite like young adult series. And since it has been a year and a half since I last reread them, I think it's time for a reread with this series as well. I've only read this series once in English. Before that I always read them in Dutch. So I think it might be time for another reread in English and just experience this story again. Yeah, as I said, same thing as with the Harry Potter series. This is a book series that I will probably reread and will continue rereading for a very long time. And since we're talking about my favorite book series, another one that I'm actually currently rereading is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. At the moment I'm in the middle of City of Bones, the first book of the Mortal Instruments series, and I am planning on rereading this entire series in preparation of the release of Queen of Air and Darkness in December of this year. And yeah, I read the Mortal Instruments books for the first time last year and I fell completely in love with them. It's such a fun, adventurous, young adult series with so many amazing characters. I love the world, and as I said, I especially love the characters. But of course, since I've only read this series once, I really wanted to reread it because there are so many details that I don't remember, and I really want to remember everything when I'm going to read like the next Shadowhunters book, because there are always details that might be important. So yeah, I am rereading this and I am listening to the audiobook of City of Bones at the moment. And yeah, again, this is a reread that has been a lot of fun and that probably will be a lot of fun. I love these books and I think I will reread them more in the future, like with all those other series. And as I said, I just love young adult book series like that. And of course, that also means that I'm also going to reread the first 2 books in the Dark Artifices series, Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows. Again, same thing for the release of the 3rd book in this series. These are 2 massive books and I really enjoyed them again. And again, so many details that I've probably forgotten that I really need to be reminded of, like to really experience the third book to its fullest. So yeah, Shadowhunter books, love them, amazing to reread. But yeah, now for a book that isn't like an entire book series. I also would love to reread the Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I think I mentioned this book also in my previous video about books that I want to reread, but I still haven't reread it, and I don't know why. Maybe I just keep forgetting about it. But I read this book for the first time almost 2 years ago. Actually, it was in the summer of 2016. That's a really long time ago, and I loved this book so much. It's one of my all-time favorite standalones. It's so good. The writing is amazing. It's so atmospheric. It's a very popular book. It's many people's like favorite book. But I really need to reread it because I want to experience this beautiful story again. And yeah, I feel like I have been saying this for a while now, but I really need to do it. And maybe like during fall time or Christmas time, because it sounds like a very good book to read during that time. But yeah, this needs to be reread because I know I will love it so much, maybe even more like the second time around. So yeah, the Night Circus, very high on my rereading TBR. And then next I have another book that I love very much, and it is the Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I have been raving about this book for the past couple of weeks. I read it at the beginning of April, I think, and I fell madly, completely in love with it. To me, the Nightingale is like the perfect historical fiction book, at least for me. It is about World War II and it takes place in France, and it is about these two sisters. It's emotional, it has a very interesting historical background. I love the characters. I think they were so fleshed out and just so amazing and brave. And yeah, since I love this book so much, I really need to reread it because I love it so much. I don't know if I'm going to reread it soon. I think I might need to like take a little while to let this story sort of sink in. I have to say, with this is a book that I think the reread won't be as amazing as the first read, because the first time I was really blown away, but now I do sort of know what's going to happen. But still, I love this book so much. I keep talking about it, I keep recommending it, but that is with good reason, because I love it and I'm so critical of historical fiction. But this one is amazing. This one I love so much. I need to like read this story again, I just have to. And then next I have another book series, but it is the Cormoran Strike book series by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. Yes, another series by J.K. Rowling, because of course she's my all-time favorite author. I love everything that she writes and I have to read everything she writes multiple times. So over the last year I've read the first 3 books in the Cormoran Strike series. It's like a detective series and it has all these murder mysteries, and I love them so much. Like, I love each murder case, I love the characters, I love the writing, I love how descriptive these books are and how you can really like solve the mystery with the characters. And I love a good thriller, and to me this is like one of the best thriller series out there. And I think the 4th book in the series is coming out somewhere later this year. At least it's not going to be that long, but maybe before that I want to reread the first 3 books. Not that you really have to, because there is an ongoing story with like Cormoran Strike and his assistant Robin, but all the murder cases are like contained to each own book. So like each book has its own murder case, so, and that will be closed off before the end of it. But still, I want to experience it again, and I want to be completely prepared if there's another book in this series. And yeah, it's just the same with all of these books. I love them very much and I just want to read them again. And then the last book that is currently on my rereading TBR is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Another one of my favorites that I read this year. And like, you've probably heard of this book, because who hasn't at this point? It's the first book in the series and it's a debut novel and it is amazing. It's a very like rich fantasy series and it has so many characters and like this amazing world building. And as I said, it's the first book in a series, and I think the second book will come out next year. And this is another case of I have to reread the previous book to be completely prepared for the new book. There are so many things happening in here and it goes really fast, so I'm sure there will be many things that I have forgotten by next year when the new book comes out. So yeah, I just have to reread it and like be completely caught up and really remember everything. And it won't be too hard because this book is massive, but it's actually a very quick read, like you'll fly through it. If you're still thinking about picking this book up, don't be intimidated by its size, because it really goes a lot faster than you would think. But yeah, another reread that I'm really looking forward to. In this case, I might listen to the audiobook because I've been hearing some really good stories about the audiobook of this book. So yeah, I'm going to reread it and it's going to be amazing. amazing, and the second book is going to be amazing, and the third book is going to be amazing. This series is just amazing. So yeah, this was it for some books that I really want to reread somewhere in the future. And as I said, I love rereading books. It's always nice because you always discover more about a book when you read it for a second or third or fourth time, or like 20th time in the case of Harry Potter. And these are all books that I love very much, so yeah, I cannot wait to read them again. But this was it for this video, and if you like this video, please go subscribe or maybe give it a thumbs up because I would really appreciate it. Please let me know down in the comments about a book that you want to reread. Also, if you want to follow me on any social media, I will leave links to that down below in the description box, to my Twitter and Instagram and everything. And then hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!